Okay. All right. Well, Dan and Tiffany, I wanted to thank you, and it's been such a pleasure to meet the two of you in person. And now with COVID-19, we're having to do social distancing and things like that. But the wonderful thing is that we're still able to exercise and get out. Tiffany, I enjoyed this morning. You were doing a little run, and I was able to ride along on my bike. And I just, I really am impressed with you and your husband, and your both have fitness in your life, and for work as well, and working in the community. I know, Dan, you with the soccer and everything like that with the children here in the Elk Grove community, and that this is a community that you want to live in and raise your kids, and you guys don't have a home of your own right now, and that's something that's on the radar for you. Is that right?
Go ahead, yeah, definitely. Prior to COVID, our plan was to purchase a home sometime like this summer. We were living in Midtown, paying a ton of money for a small 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. So then we decided to move in with my parents who live in Elk Grove, which we both enjoy being in Elk Grove. A lot of our family is here. And we decided to make that decision to save money. And so that was a really smart decision on our part, with everything going on, to be with my parents, and then me ending up getting pregnant during all of this as well. And we are very secure with my parents right now, which is really nice.
Yeah. So that is true, right? So like some things in our life we don't have control over, right? Like the COVID-19 and different things that happen with jobs, with families growing and transitioning. So it's great that you have family here that you are living with. You're able to save money, and that was your goal then, is to save money to be able to have money for the down payment then, I would guess.
Yeah, the goal was to have enough money to put down on a house in sometime in July or August of this year. During the time of saving, we found out that Tiffany was pregnant and we're going to be expecting our first son in October. So that was good news, which made us save even quicker because we were ready to buy a house. And then shock news, a couple of weeks later, Tiffany found out that she lost her job. So a lot of things come up, as you said, that we can't control, but we're grateful for everything that we do have. And we have family here in Elk Grove, and we're just making the best of the situation that we can.
Yeah.
But on a positive side, it gives us more time to continue saving as well.
Absolutely. And I think that that's the thing, is the resilience, and to be able to have a plan, but knowing that adapting and to still move forward, and not to let things like this allow us to get stuck. So that's why I'm really glad that we're able to follow your journey, because each journey, even when we make a plan, it doesn't always happen that way, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I think it's a great way, because you guys are real life. You're a real life couple with planned situations. And in the midst of COVID-19, I think the followers and viewers that are watching this, that are thinking about buying a house themselves, or what do we need to do that, I'm hoping that this is kind of a way to encourage people you do need a plan, right? Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? But to be able to adjust, and to be able to have counsel that helps you kind of reassess where you're at, and project, well, where do I need to be by this time? And then if something happens, we readjust again, which I think your guys' ability to adapt and readjust and be in good spirits about it as well is commendable. And I think it's encouraging for other people to see that you can continue to persevere and hold on to your dreams of having a place of your own one day, but to really, like you said, celebrate the blessings of the fact that you do have a family that you can stay with right now and continue to save. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think we're just really lucky that we have such a close family here locally, and that no matter what situation we're in, we know that we can always rely on them, and that also helps us stay in good spirits. So I mean, obviously losing my job with a baby on the way was not something we wanted, but I think having our family here, and like Dan and our family support, helps make things a lot better and not so stressful during this time.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we were so set on buying a house this summer, and especially when we found out Tiffany was pregnant. We felt like it was a hard deadline that we had to buy a house by July or August. But I'm a big believer of focusing on not only things that we can control, and we can't. There are a lot of things that are out of our control, but we are blessed to have family that are here that want to help and be a part of our lives and a part of our baby's life in the future. So a lot of good has come out of this, and then also with everything that's happened with COVID-19, if we did buy a house and Tiffany lost a job, then it may have been a different situation right now. And again, we don't know what's going to happen in the future with the housing market.
Right. Well, you know, it's interesting that you brought that up, because we always hear that it's unprecedented times, right? But I mean, I look at every situation that comes up that people haven't experienced before is going to be unprecedented times. And back in 2005 through 2008, there was a lot of things that happened where people lost their houses, and there were short sales, and prices crashed. And I think this time there's things that are going to happen. There's definitely going to be some adjustments, but you're exactly right. Like, as a person of faith, that's one of the things I just really, I love that about you guys as well. And I really feel that God plants people in our life and opens doors and sets our path. And when we have that kind of trust and faith, that there is a hedge of protection, and there's also an opportunity if we lean into it and trust, right? It might not be exactly how we planned it, but what we'll see in the housing market is that right now it's a seller's market. So to be a buyer and to be, you know, wanting to go and get that house, and we'll have a roof of our own and make the baby's room and all of that, those are fun and exciting things to plan for. But at the same time, right now, there might even be a better opportunity, right? So we just have to kind of trust and lean into that. And buying and selling is a perfect time when you have to do it, right? You find that thing and you go out there, and that's what my job is to do whenever you're ready to do that. But yes, on the horizon, there's going to be some adjustments. There's going to be some price adjustments, and you guys will probably be in a great place. And like we shared before, when you have a newborn, it's always nice to have an extra set of hands when the two of them are exhausted, and it's like, whose turn is it type of deal, right? So I'm sure Grandma and Grandpa are pretty excited to have you there as well.
Yeah, we were able to turn our parents, we have a spare bedroom, into a nursery. And I like basically what you had said earlier too with faith. I think there could have been a point where we could have gotten really down about things and been really upset and felt like things weren't going our way, because it truly feels like we've had like everything that we've had planned hasn't gone as planned this year. But I think when you have faith, you tend to be flexible and to just go with the flow, and you're able to just be grateful for the things that you have and not the things that didn't happen or didn't go as planned. And so that's why we can still find a lot of happiness in making a nursery at my parents' house and making that fun for us now. So yeah, I think when you have faith, you can really just lean into that, and that gives you a peace of mind that you wouldn't have if you didn't, where you would be really focusing on like a lot of the negative things that you feel are going on in your life.
Absolutely. And that's a really good point, Tiffany. I think whether people are getting ready to buy a house and looking at their plans and what do they need to get in order for that, lose their job, or having to, go out for additional interviews, or have adjustments at their job, or working from home, is the ability to have that hope and that flexibility, and to focus on that which you do have. And I think so often we focus, we tend to, as a nation, in the news and the media, we focus on all the trauma and the trials, and we don't spend enough time on the blessings. And I think that that's really something that I have experienced as well, is when you are a person of faith, we tend to search for the positive. And I think that as a people, as a community, and as a nation, if we started focusing more on what we had in common, more on things that are positive and uplifting and help one another, that we can all get through this together. And I'm going to I'm just so excited about your guys' journey because we don't know, right? Like this story writes itself, right? As you know, right? If you sat down, this was going to be a screenplay, it'd be like, okay, this is how it's going down. But then when you actually start rolling the tape, what ends up happening is, okay, now we're expecting a baby and now we need to be in the summer. Well, wait a minute. Now we've been, let go from our job and COVID-19 and we all have to stay at home. And in fact, Dan, with you, I know that you do a lot of stuff with you're employed and work with kids with soccer, correct?
Yeah, so I'm a director of coaching at Elk Grove Soccer. So I help oversee the coaches and the players. There we've got about 6,500 kids playing in the program. So it's a lot of kids in Elk Grove. It's a very family-orientated place.
Yeah. And with that in mind, and with soccer, because I know I'm a volunteer soccer coach for the rec for your program, and I've been doing that for 25 years, and it is a phenomenal program. And what you guys are doing with it now, and even I saw, I don't know if it was a podcast or if it was an interview, maybe on TV for the news or something, but on how you guys can actually train the kids and get them back out there, and it's in a controlled environment where there's more social distancing, but the kids can still condition, meet with one another, and for their mental health and for their well-being, it's super, super important. And I just, I know that that's something that you're dealing with too. So again, for a first-time home buyer and having plans, you've also got jobs and lives, and you're juggling a lot of things, and it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on right now. Obviously with COVID-19, and again, we go back to a lot of it is out of our control, and we can do everything we can to try and plan for every situation. But we really don't know what's going to happen and when we're going to be back on the field, but we're going to do everything we can to keep the kids as safe as possible.
Yeah.
And what you saw on the news the other day was the CEO, Andrew Donnery, was on there talking about our back to play policies and procedures and protocols that we've put in place to help get the kids on the field and look after their mental well-being as much as possible and keep them safe while they can have some normalcy in their life of playing soccer.
Yeah, I love that. And Elk Grove is such a soccer community. I moved here in '91, and starting out with my son Charlie and Christian, and I mean just little guys right out there playing, and now they are working in businesses and have companies here in Elk Grove, and it's just amazing to see what youth sports does for kids in the community, and the relationships they form from different schools, kids that they normally maybe wouldn't have interacted with. You've got kids that are homeschooled, you have kids from different schools all over, and you're able to come together and play, and it's a positive environment. So what Elk Grove offers in the community is pretty amazing as well. I mean, when you guys are looking at homes, is that a community that you have thought that you want to be close to? Some people like to work in a community that they don't work in. But have you guys thought about that at all?
Yeah, we considered multiple locations. We lived in Midtown for a little while. We went to Midtown. We came back to Elk Grove. Went back to Midtown. Came back to Elk Grove. We've lived on the east side of Elk Grove, the west side of Elk Grove. So we've looked at other places as well. There's other areas. There are very nice areas all around Sacramento County and
Sure.
so on. But Elk Grove has everything that you need here.
Yeah.
It's got great schools here. It's got, as we mentioned, youth sports is huge. There's so many kids that are involved in youth sports, and the amount of things youth sports does for you, it's not just, for example, soccer. It's not just soccer that you learn from playing it. You develop teamwork, leadership, communication. It shapes you. And the thing back from my days of playing and growing up in England is that I was able to, my best memories are from when I was playing youth sports in England with all my friends, and they were all from different schools. And it's the same kind of thing here in Elk Grove. And Elk Grove's only getting bigger. You see the amount of houses that are being built in Elk Grove. You've obviously had Delta Shores as well at the other end of Oak Grove there from where we live, where it's been built. So there's more and more things being built here. It's growing every year. It's becoming a better and better place to live.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so that's funny. You said growing up in England. So I really shouldn't call it soccer, should I? I should call it football.
Football. You can't use that word. You can't use soccer.
And then you had said also, like you said, there's the greater Sacramento area and Delta Shores, which is down in San Joaquin County. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and keeping up in new home building. And that's the other thing. Have you guys thought about, I think sometimes people don't realize my job as a real estate agent is to match the family with the right home for them, right? And a lot of times it's something that sometimes people don't realize is that you can have your own real estate agent and look at properties, whether it's new build, whether it's a resale market or anything like that. And really what you have is someone who's working on your behalf and understands all of the paperwork. And the programs that they're offering you and lenders. And sometimes when you go into one place, it's like, oh, look, we have everything right here for you. And if you use this, this is what you have. Where if you have your own agent, a lot of times we're able to say, okay, that's great program what they've showed you with their lenders or different things like that. But let's take a full look at everything that's available. And sometimes buyers don't understand that and know that. And you know, months, years later say, I wish I would have known, or I wish I would have known the right question to ask. And so having an advocate working on your behalf, someone that you trust, and that's part of it is building that relationship. And so I'm just really excited to be able to work with you guys to learn more about you and what your needs are and what your wants and desires are. And also to realize that those could change, right? Especially with a pregnant mama to be.
No, and that's really true. I think because it's such a new process to us, it's really nice to, well, have met you, but also to know like we have someone that can be an advocate for us, who's understanding and knows more than we do. And that's really helpful for us. And I think that's something that's really important. And, you know, having like Charlie refer us to you and things like that, people that we know and trust, I think that's really important for us. And we always prefer to go with someone that we have a referral for because it just makes the process so much easier. And yeah, when you can trust someone and you know they have like your well-being as their first priority, it definitely makes the process so much easier.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, and I know that you guys were on your way to pick up some dinner, and we've got an expectant mother, so I'm super excited. Our next visit, when we meet up again and kind of go into some different questions on really preparing a list on things to look to do and to start lining up, I'll be bringing on my mentor, Sheldon Steele. Steele Realty was around for years here in the Elk Grove area, and so he comes from a long line of real estate. He was born into it, and he's with eXp Realty now. Left his brokerage and is with eXp Realty. I'm part of a team that has, oh my gosh, just the top people in the area, and so there's a whole lot of, like you said, the referral and the networking is super important. So well integrated in the Elk Grove community, but also from all walks of all different types of properties, you know, from a rehab property to multi-million-dollar listings. So there's everything in between. So really, I'm excited for you guys. I'm looking forward to your journey and kind of documenting it as we go along. And I wish you all the best tonight, and I enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.